Nightmare. Everything but the microphone. Hey guys, welcome. So I was just sitting here marveling. Normally, whenever I start a stream, I am doing all these little things behind the scenes to get the picture started, get the music started, transition to the cartoon, all those different things. Turn this mic off, turn that mic on. And I'm just getting a warning that my bandwidth doesn't look great. Hopefully that evens out. But I actually took some time today and tried to automate some of that stuff. And it was kind of weird just to sit here and watch it work. And it actually worked. Dang, I'm impressed. Everything except turning on my microphone. So I got to fix that. I better make a note. All right. Fix the mic in the automation. All right. It's the little things that can make us happy. That made me pretty happy. Hey, it's great to see so many of you guys out in the chat. Man, a lot of people out there already. It's really great. It's great to have that few minutes before the stream kicks off to see who's out there and say some hellos. See where people are coming in from. I especially like whenever I see a new name, right, where somebody has learned about the stream and they're stopping in to check it out, or maybe they're just chatting for the first time. Maybe they're a lurker and they're just chatting for the first time. Regardless, it's always nice to see, and it's always great to have, you know, my online family and friends here whenever the stream gets kicked off. You know, this can be a little bit of a nerve-wracking situation, at least for me. So it's always nice to see friendly faces or friendly names out there. So thanks for being here early, gang. Well, let's see, man, it's November, and I don't know, this feels like the calm before the storm. I personally, I've got a ton of travel coming up. I've got work travel coming up. I've got family holiday travel coming up. Let's get rid of those. And frankly, man, I just don't know what to expect as far as airport situations and air travel goes. I guess I'm going to find out pretty soon. My first travel here is in just a couple of weeks. For some holiday travel. Then I'm backing that up with a conference right after that. So it's going to be go, go, go for a little while. I do get to come back in between, though, for a quick stop. And that's always helpful. But the other thing I got to figure out is a lot of this travel happens across weekends. And so I've got to figure out what I'm going to do for some late shift streams when I'm nowhere near the shack. Now, of course, you know, you can always just kind of do a basic stream, but you know, what fun is that? You have to try to do something a little fancier or something. No, I'm not going to EMC World. I'm going to the AWS reInvent conference. So that's one that I go to. Gosh, I think I've been this might be number 11. So, Gray Man, we've chatted before, right? We've been on AWS a long time. So I've been going to that thing for a long time. All right. But anyhow, I got to figure out what to do about some streams. So, and tonight, I've been wanting and waiting to have some time where I can sit down and start to plan out building my my SAT simulator. And there's never a good time. There's never any time where I can just kind of sit down and do that. So we're going to do a little bit of that tonight. What I mean by that is, right, there's two different ways that you can approach the CubeSatSim. This is the AMSAT project. You can just buy the kit that has everything in it. Everything from the printed frame, the 3D printed frame, to all the components, the Raspberry Pi, all the electronics, everything you need comes in that kit. That's one way to buy it. And then the other thing you can do is you can just buy the PCB boards and source everything yourself. And, you know, I think, what is it, $500? Maybe it was either $400 and it went up to $500, or it was $500 and it went up to $600. I don't remember which. We might have to figure that out before the end of the night. Or you can buy the PCBs for $35, right? And I've got a ton of components. I've got a whole case of components. And so my thought was, let me buy the PCBs and scrounge as much as I can out of my components, out of my parts bins. I've never gone through the exercise of sending 3D print files out to a service bureau and had them printed. So that's how I'm going to handle the 3D printed parts. So I'm going to try to do this, you know, in just a different fashion than just plunking the money down and making it easy. I'm going to make a little bit of this is going to be, you know, a little bit bigger project. So tonight, what I want to do is I want to get myself reacquainted with all the materials, because there are a lot of materials. There's a bill of materials. There's lots of documents. I just want to get myself organized. And I want to start going through the bill of materials and figure out how much I have and get on order the parts that I don't. So I figure we'll do some of that tonight together. Oh, hey, Eric. So you got yours for $400. Okay. I saw where they were just, you know, they had to increase the price here. So I think it sounds like 400 was the kind of the price for some period of time. And it sounds like it's going up to $500 now. So, yeah. So what is a SAT simulator? So this is the CubeSat simulator. And, you know, I don't want to jump into that too far, but essentially, Mike, what it is the, it is a training tool. Well, it's many things. I guess it depends on how you want to use it, right? It's an educational tool. It's a training tool because it can send telemetry, and you use the very same programs that you would use to decode any of the Fox satellite telemetry. You use the very same software to decode this telemetry that the simulator sends. And it can send in multiple modes. It can do a number of different things. So it's pretty cool. We'll look at it and talk about it a little bit tonight. All right. But I don't want to jump into all that just yet. Hey, some other things I did over here is I had a Stream Deck sitting on my desk for, I don't even know how long. But I actually, whenever I was in my automation phase earlier today, I actually took some time and I programmed some buttons too. So I'm excited to try these out. Hopefully they all work. We're going to find out. But let's see. Oh, look at that. So the community list button works. So I like to mention this at the beginning of every stream just to make sure folks are signed up on the community list. This is the communications vehicle that I use to stay in contact with everyone who's interested in the content on the channel in between streams and videos and those types of things. And maybe more importantly, this is how you sign up, or this is how you get involved in channel giveaways. So you have to be on the community list to be part of the giveaways. And let's see, I think it was just, I got to look just to make sure I'm right. Yeah, so 4,311 subscribers. So we're just almost a little less than 700 away from that 5,000 subscriber giveaway. Hey, I want to give a shout out to Freddie Mac. I don't know if Freddie's out there anywhere yet, but I saw he just had a 9,000 subscriber celebration. I want to say congratulations to Freddie. That's pretty awesome. All right. So that's community list. All right. Look at that. Those buttons work. That's crazy. And then the other one I'll mention here real quick is my my linked list. This is where you can find all my bumper stickers, t-shirts, coupon codes, affiliate links, some of my Amazon favorites, all those types of things that help support the channel. So if that's something you would like to do, please check that out. All right. And with that, we'll jump right into this week's This and That. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't have that one programmed yet. I got to do it the old-fashioned way. I got to click a button. All right. That's all right. Hey, just a few quick announcements and things that I found interesting, or what I'm starting to also get is, a few people emailing me about some of their project statuses. So that's always fun. So this is a little segment where I can share some of that with all of you. One thing I want to remind everyone about is here on the 12th, next week, we have Series 30 SSTV, ARIS SSTV event. And this is the one that was supposed to happen back about a month ago to coincide with the JOTA Jamboree on the Air for the scouting. But, that one got bumped. So this is I think the second reschedule maybe of this event, but it's coming up on the 12th. So please, if you guys want to give that a try, this is the great, if you've not done SSTV, this is the easiest one to do. First of all, they send all of their images in over 2 meters, right? With 2 meter frequency. So you don't have to worry about Doppler. So that just takes one thing off the list, right? You can just don't even have to worry about it. And, it's coming from the ISS, which puts out a bit more power than, some of the other satellites out there that push SSTV. So, you've got a really good chance of being able to capture these. So you should give them a try. So that's coming up on the 12th. Hey, Pepe, welcome. It's good to have you out there. All right, let's see. I found another little feature here in my software. Let me try this tonight. All right, now this is an image. This is an image from someone who they don't get a chance to watch the stream because of their location, and it's pretty late for them. But this is, but Mike, who's over in Nova Scotia, he listens and maybe watches it during the weekend. But he's been following along with the TinyGS project, the Cornell project, and he sent me in some pictures. He got his station up and running, and I like this smart way that he's got his antenna, and it's still in the house yet. He's going to take it outside before the Cornell event, but he's just doing some testing right now. But I thought that was pretty smart, the way he used that book to steady his antenna in the house. And he sent me some pictures here. He's off and running. He's getting packets. He's getting them decoded. So he's in good shape. So thanks for sending that in, Mike. That's Mike, VA1KMA from Nova Scotia. Thanks for sending those in. EOD, welcome. Hey, Arnie, how you doing? Arnie, we're going to talk about the CubeSatSim tonight. I'm going to get organized because I'm kicking that project off here. And we're going to talk a bit about that. All right, let's see. Just a couple of other items I want to hit real quick. It was great to see out on X this week. I saw the first few people posting that they've been successfully capturing telemetry from Bhutan. This is one of those. This was JSOD 33, I think, right? This isn't the first group of Japanese satellites that we were talking about, but this is from the second group. So it was nice to see, someone's out there getting that telemetry and getting it uploaded to SatNogs. So that was great to see. And then I had another question in one of the comments for one of the videos. I think the Eggnogs videos, right? This little antenna here, the Eggnogs videos are getting a little more attention right now with this Cornell project, because that's a great antenna for the tiny ground station. And somebody had asked, what's that antenna look like across the band? Because Smitty actually sells a couple versions of the 400 megahertz antenna. He's got one that's identified as a TinyGS antenna at 433 megahertz. And then he's got another one. And I'm not sure exactly, I can't recall how he markets that one, if it's just general 70 centimeters, but it's listed as having a center frequency of 436. And that's the one I've got, is the one that's 436. And somebody asked, hey, what's that look like across the band? Will I be able to use it for one of these other projects? And, here you can see it looks pretty good across the band. Not bad at all. Certainly good enough to receive TinyGS signals. So I just wanted to share that with everybody. If they, thanks for putting it out there, Bill. Putting that link out there. Appreciate that. But yeah, so if you've got the old 70 centimeter one, it's maybe a year old. I don't know how long, maybe it's 2 years at this point. But if you've got that and you're wondering, can I use that for the TinyGS? You certainly can. And if you guys aren't quite sure how to read this, that middle line is the frequency that I have selected. So that's 435. And then we're looking at, what do we got? 10 megahertz on either side of that. Let's see. I don't think I ever heard 20 meter FT8 dead. Is it dead right now, Gray Man? I don't think that's ever a thing. Wow. I'm thinking you might want to Are you sure that your setup's good? Are you sure your antenna's connected? You're not going into your dummy load? I don't think I've ever seen that. I mean, you can always kind of use that as a point of reference, right? When you're just tooling through the band. That's pretty crazy. All right. Oh, let me go back to my buttons. I got to remember I've got these buttons here. I gotta get used to using this thing. All right. Antenna was fine. 20 meters was dead for a bit. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, let's see here. Actually, let's go over to the browser. Oh, Bill. My apologies, man. I saw you had texted me earlier today, but you had asked me about the monitoring Meshtastic bumper sticker. It's out here. It's out here on the bitsy/dr page. All right, let's see here. Also, just I'll do a quick update here. You know, I had this little guy here. This is that little amplifier hooked up to my TinyGS station, and I was just struggling to get anything, to get packets. And so today I took this thing off, and you know, I haven't taken this outside yet, so I wasn't sure, you know, is this my amplifier problem? Is this because I live in a house with a metal roof problem? You know, I wasn't sure why I wasn't receiving anything. So I decided to take this thing off, and I've just got this sitting over. I mean, it's pretty obvious here. Let's see. Am I able to zoom in on this just a little bit? Yeah, just a little bit without messing around too much. But I've got this sitting in a window that's facing north. So that's why you see all this kind of activity to the north. Now there's also, oh, look at that. It will go in just a little bit further. I'm learning all kinds of things about this software. But I do have some others, which I thought was interesting, that are not facing north. But anyhow, as soon as I took this thing off, and this is from today. As soon as I took that off, boom, I started to receive packets. Let me see. Let me refresh this and see if I got any more. Now it's got to be a fairly ideal pass for me, because I've got this little round window. It's like a portal type window up here in the shack. And like I said, it's facing north. And yeah, oh, so I picked up 10 other packets. This is interesting to me. So it confirmed 32 packets, but only 8 of them were telemetry. So I got a little bit of learning to do there. But you can see all this action happened once I took this thing off. So I'm not sure what the dealio is here. I mean, I know this thing was on, but I'm going to have to do a little investigation here. Now, the other thing that's interesting, and I'm sure you guys aren't going to be able to see this. Yeah, you might. If you look here, it's really hard to see. But if you look there just to the left of that sticker, you see that white piece on the, right over here, that white piece on the board. That's actually a pot. And I don't know if you can adjust the gain there. That's my hope anyhow. I'm hoping I can turn that down. What I'm guessing is happening is that this just might be flooding the front end of that little receiver. But got some work to do there. I don't know if anybody else has picked any of these up and if they've been playing with them yet. I mean, I know some people picked them up, but I don't know if folks have started deploying them yet. I'm curious what kind of, how they've been working for folks. EOD, just ordered my Eggnogs kit, the TinyGS stuff already ordered. Nice. Yep, it's going to be oh, nice. You're going to do it with your club. That's a great idea. Let's see. Mike's watching the muff. It's getting low, he says. I'm big in that thing. Yeah, let me try this. Let's try this. There we go. See, there's a little pot, that white thing there on the left-hand side is a little pot right next to that little wire antenna. That's a little antenna. Believe it or not, that's the Wi-Fi. No, I lied to you. That's just a hole. I was thinking about the other, the actual Heltec radio. But that's just a little pot right there. So I'm hoping I'm going to be able to adjust that. So I'll let you guys know what I learn. Mike's on the muff. He's got it covered. Good man. Okay. So that's that. Let me get back over here. Let's see. Oh, something else I wanted to mention. For all you channel members, now, you guys have heard me say this before. If you are a YouTube channel member, I also set you up with access to buy me a coffee, right? So that you get access to, the stuff that I put out here. And a lot of times these are just more in-depth and documented settings and configurations and things to help you guys if you're trying to do some of the things that I'm working on. But one of the other things that I did this week, under the shop button. Now, if you're a member, and I'm in this in private window, so I'm not logged into my Buy Me a Coffee account. So this is the way somebody would see it if they're just visiting the page themselves. But I also put out there my audio file from the World Space Week here back in October. If you guys want to verify the setup of your laptop, if you're looking to process a SSTV file without doing it in real time, right? If you want to be able to process a file at your leisure instead of in real time, and that's some of the stuff that I put together out here, right? So that's one of these. These are two that go together. But this is how to, take that file that you recorded on your ID50 or anywhere else, and then move that over to your laptop and process it using the virtual audio cable. But this is a file here that you can grab to practice. Now, I had to put something on here, so I just put $1 on there. But this is free for members. If you're a member, it doesn't cost you anything to download that. So if you guys need a file to practice with, you can go out there and grab that file. All right. Let me see where we're at here. Yeah, right to the right of the word air. You got it, Bill. Hello from Vermont. Welcome, Todd. Oh, yeah, you're more than welcome. Nice to have you out in the stream. Okay. CubeSatSim. You know what? I should take a step back. Let's take a step back because it's so easy to, I think it's just CubeSat. Yeah. It's so easy to think everybody knows about some of these things. And thank you, Mike, for asking the question, because obviously not everyone knows what the CubeSat Sim is all about. You know, I've talked about it several times, so I just think everybody knows about it. But this is a good place to get started. Now, this is an AMSAT venture, and this is a great page to get familiar with it. Essentially, it is 3 PCBs with a Raspberry Pi Zero and a few other parts and pieces that are put together in a 3D printed frame. And you can see there's a couple of different antennas here because it actually has a transmitter. It actually does transmit, you know, different modes of radio. And these are working solar panels. So you actually can charge these batteries that are part of this system with these solar panels. So this is essentially a satellite that just is not space-worthy, right? This is a satellite. It does all the things, many of the things. It does all the basic things that a satellite does. But it just, you know, does it in a much cheaper implementation. And, you know, again, this thing transmits a lot of the same telemetry. It can also send SSTV. It can also send CW. So there's a number of different things that it can do. But you can build one and, you know, try all of these different things, you know, in the comfort of your shack. They provide all the plans. They provide a bill of materials, right? The electronics BOM or bill of materials, everything that you need. They even help you source it. They even have some lists at very common electronics supply houses where you can easily buy these parts and pieces yourself. They provide all the software. And this is, you know, this is one of the big educational vehicles for AMSAT, and they're continuing to expand this. Now, what you're seeing here is a 1U CubeSat. They actually have plans where you can build this as a 2U or a 3U CubeSat as well. Right. So if you want to, you know, embiggen your CubeSatSim, you can do that. But this is the place to get started, right? This will tell you all about it. And they've just created a bunch of great new resources as well. One other thing that I will mention is they also have a number of these in a kit form. And I think it's, you know, it's probably more than 50% of the way complete, right? I think it's more of, you just have to assemble it because they have a number of these that you can sign up for if you want to use them for an educational program in your school, in your, I'm guessing you could probably do it in your club as well, right? So if you didn't want to build one, go through the whole, you know, effort and expense of building one, AMSAT members can request to have, I think they have maybe a dozen loaners, something like that. Maybe it's 10. And you can request a loaner. You get it. You can, you know, it's, you don't have to do any soldering or anything with the loaners. You're essentially putting them together and you can use them for your educational programs. Does it simulate a frequency shift? That's a great question, Arnie. That's a great question. I don't... Oh, look at that. There we go. Let me try that again. Did you guys see that? Did that look a little funky? Yeah, that's like awful slow. Looks like my machine's having a hard time keeping up with it. Either that or I may have jacked it up whenever I was working on all my... Let me just see if I can get that thing out of the way. I may have jacked it up whenever I was working on all my automation. Boy, oh boy, looks like the stream's struggling. All right, maybe we're back. All right, so Arnie, I don't think it does. I'm just trying to think about that for a moment. Trying to think how they would do that. I don't know. I don't think it does. I've never heard anyone talk about that, but boy, that's a great question. Nobody buys me coffee, but I'm not on YouTube either. Well, Arnie, I don't know if you go to, I don't think we've ever met, but if you ever get out to a ham fest, I'll be happy to buy you a cup of coffee and have a chat. You always have some good questions. Yeah, I think I'm struggling with my internet here. Yeah, I went all max headroom for a moment. All right. So this is a good place to kind of get started. But the next place quickly after here, and I'll be surprised if it's, I'm sure there's a link here somewhere. Oh yeah, well, let's go to this wiki page right here. Let's see. Yeah, that just takes us basically to where I was headed. So I was headed over here to the GitHub. But let's look at this wiki page here first. Now, there are a couple of versions of this. Like I said, they're continuing to improve this and you know, add things to it. I've got version 2 V2 boards, the blue boards. And it's funny. I say I've got them, and I know I've got them. Boy, do you think I could find them today? I'm going to have to tear the shack apart tomorrow to find them. But there are white boards and there are blue boards. And the white boards are, I think, version 1.2, if I'm not mistaken. And then the current boards are blue boards. So if you ever see, if you ever see any of these at a ham fest or something, if you see a blue one, that's the current version as of today. But if you see a white one, that's an older version. And it might not have some of the same capabilities. Right, but here you can see everything that you get when you buy the kit. Okay, they give you everything you need. And then they've got all these different steps here, right? This is, and these instructions are pretty good, right? They walk you through, tell you about the whole thing, tell you all the parts and pieces that you need. And this relates to the bomb and all the rest, right? This is the full layout of the boards. But, you know, whenever we go over here and we look at the kind of the nitty gritty of the GitHub, I mean, this is an open source project and they provide everything from the software to all the hardware, all the instruction, everything is here. And the thing that I'm interested in tonight is if we go under hardware, and you can see there's multiple versions here. And the current version, and this is a little confusing. This was a little confusing to me. but version 2 is actually the current version of the boards. I'm not exactly sure what this 2.1 is, unless it's just a very small change somewhere along the way. But these are the boards that I've got, the version 2 boards. And when you go into this V2 folder here, you've got all kinds of stuff, right? You've got, and in various versions, right? So you've got some different pictures. We can just look at what some of these things are, right? This is just these are all pictures of the actual boards themselves. You've got the schematics. Kind of interesting. But what I'm after tonight, and what I need to do, is I need to look at what's in the BOM. And so let's see, I'm looking for I think this is the one I want. Yeah. I've got my camera that sits right in front of that. There we go. But this is the full bill of materials. Right, so this is absolutely every single little piece and part that you need to build this. Okay, and they list, some of these you can get them multiple places, and they'll call that out. Some of these things you can get on Amazon, right? Some of these things you can get at DigiKey. Some of these things you can get at Adafruit, right? And some of them have alternates. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to start looking at these different parts and see if I've got them. Let's see here. A Pi Zero with pre-soldered headers. I'm not worried about that. Here's a Pico with headers. Here's the main boards, USB-C, micro SD card. Okay, what is this? It's going to pop a little picture for me. Board temperature, humidity, and pressure sensor. That's pretty cool. Okay, now they also have these things called these octoparts. Now I played with this a while back, and I've got to figure out what this is again. Let's see, do I just click on this here? I think so. Let's copy this. I think this is, well, I don't have to think, we can wait. Internet Explorer and Edge are not recommended. All right, we're not going to worry about that right now. This BOM is read-only. That's fine. Okay, so let's see what they're telling us here. So if you buy all of these parts that are in this BOM, it's $53. And everything's available. It looks like everything's available. Okay, and they have it for multiple distributors here. Right, they've got it for DigiKey, Arrow, on and on. I typically use DigiKey and Mouser when I'm buying stuff. DigiKey is usually number one. But it looks like, oh, this is pretty cool. It tells you how many they have in stock as well. The format that they come in. Okay. I had looked at all this stuff a while back, but it's been a while. and I need to get myself reoriented to it. So, all right. So one of the things I need to do, and I'm not going to necessarily put everyone through this unless you guys are really, really interested in it. Here, let's go overhead. All right, so this is my parts bin. All right, and so I've got a ton of capacitors, resistors of different types, all types of other parts. I got lots of LEDs. I've got all kinds of parts and pieces here. And one of the things I need to do is go down through the list and see if I've got any of these things, right? Just to try to see, am I going to be able to, what was that? That was 100 nanofarad. So one of the things I'm going to do, and like I said, I'm not going to put you guys through it, is go through these parts lists and check off what I've already got. So it's telling me I need 2 of these ceramic capacitors. Okay, and it gives me all the detail about them. Okay, let's see here. Just seeing what some of these parts look like. Okay, so like these resistors, I'm guessing I've got all these types of, right? These are like basic types of things. So a 1K resistor. Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry. You guys can't see that. Jeez. All right, let me see. Somehow this thing. I mean, why is that thing acting like that? I thought you guys had a good view there for a second. There we go. So let's say here. So I'm sure I've got 1K resistors in here somewhere. Yeah, 1K. Gosh, you only need one of these, so plus or minus 5%. Yeah, I don't know why that guy keeps... Here, let me try to adjust it. Maybe it's too tight. But let's see, and you guys might not be able to see that. It's probably not in the... Here, let me take this apart. That's probably the easiest way to do it. Right, so here... Right, so I've got all these labeled, so I can go through these pretty easily. Right, here's a 1K, quarter watt, 1% axial style resistor. And so this thing on this guy, and I might have to see if I can blow this up. I don't know that I'll be able to. Yeah, I don't think that's going to work super well. I got to work on that. But this says I need a 1K plus or minus 5%. So this is a 1%. So that's right. You can always, as long as you're better and not worse, you can usually use that component. Now, the one thing you want to be careful of is sometimes, like I see a lot of these are 1/8 watt components. A lot of what I have are quarter watt components. And again, usually that's not a problem. Unless that resistor, for example, is also used as a fuse. Hey, Freddie, welcome. Yeah, that's some of my OCD at work there, Chris. Do I have a link for the parts bin? Okay, so here's how, I figured you guys would be curious about this. All right, so let me show you what I've got here first. Let's get this guy. Let me switch you back over. So this is in a kind of 3-inch style bin, right? I don't know what else you call this thing. And this is part of a drawer system. So the drawer is kind of one part of the equation. And then I've got these are specifically for electronics components, right? So they're ESD safe. They've got like a little pop-up. They've got like a little tag here. You pull that tag and then the door pops open, and they come in different sizes, and then you can put them together however you need them to work. So you can see in this case, I've got 4 of these green ones wide, and then I've got these really small ones on the end, right? Now I've got to put these back together, but I'm not going to do that right now. But they also have some larger sizes. You see these pink ones are larger, and then let me move this. I've also got yellow ones that are even larger than the pink ones, right? So it's almost like a Lego block system of miniature bins for your components. Okay. And I've had these for years, and I love these things, and they really help you stay organized. So that's all great news. The bad news is that they quit making these things. However, they quit making them, but you can still find them. You can still buy them, right? So if you like them, you want to try to use them, play with them, you can buy a few, see if they'll work for you, whatever. There, I just snap those back in. But let me show you here. Let's see. Let me find this first. All right, let me flip you guys over. The bins that I use are by Bosch. And what are these things called? I can't remember. They have a here they are, L-box. Okay. So this is what I use. So this holds 3 types of bins. And when you order one of these, you get 2 open bins, which are these. And I can show you guys what I throw in these. And then this is the closed bin, which is what I was showing you. So it's kind of like, Milwaukee's little system. All the different tool systems have or the tool manufacturers have a storage system. This is the Bosch solution, and it's like the least. This is the one that kind of fits into, an office or a shack setting a little bit more than others. So you can see the size of it here. Now what I do is I have 2 of these, and you can stack them. So I've got one of these 3-set drawers, and I've got another 3-set drawer that connects on top of this. And then I've got a topper. Oh yeah, I should show you these too. So you can also get these little parts bins here. I use those as well. Gosh, I didn't know this was going to turn into this. But we can certainly, I can show you all this stuff. Let me find, well, let me see. Let me just do the L box so we can see all the different types. So I use 2 of these, and then I put one of these on top of it, and that fits underneath my desk. So it's like having, instead of having a 3-drawer file cabinet under my desk, I've got a 6-drawer Bosch tool bin under my desk. And when this opens up, this is horrible. They only have 1 picture on that. That's awful. Let's see if one of these deeper ones. Yeah, here you go. Oh, here, this gives you the idea, right? These things all kind of snap together, right? Here you can kind of see how they work. But what I've found is, you know, these little parts, I can fit 2 rows of these inside one of those covered drawers. And, you know, a couple of those that I can keep all my stuff organized. Keep all my electronics organized. Here, let's see if I can get to one of these other ones. All right, let me, so here I've got another one with a bunch of sectioned cubbies where I've got all kinds of stuff, right? So I've got all kinds of little things in here, right? So I've got some, right? These are some little electronics boards for, you know, project boards. These are little USB kind of testing boards. If you're, you know, building something with a USB, I've got a few of those, you know, different types of pots, right? So I can keep all this stuff organized in here. So I, you know, a little USB breakout, right? For when I'm working on little project things. So it's nice to be able to keep all that stuff kind of organized. So I got like a little TRS adapter, right, that I can wire up. But I know where everything is, and I can find everything when I've got it in these bins. Hey, Kyle. Welcome. And then here I've got some that are open as well, right? You guys all know what that is. It's one of those little chat radio things, right? But this is where I've got like all my coax adapters. I've got, you know, all my little project stuff. I've got a bunch of little Pi boards, right? For whenever I'm working on projects. Right, so I've got all my stuff in here, and I keep it all in this Bosch stuff. I don't want to bore you guys with all that. Pi Picos, yeah, there you go. Thanks. Ready? I struggle in there for what it was. The power pole bin. Yeah, I've got one of those. Right, so this is the one that sets on top of the two sets of right, let's see if you guys can see this. Right, so I've got lots of power pole. Those are the cases. Then I've got other little bins with you know, the various different sizes. Right, so I've got all the parts and pieces. Then I even have some of these different colored parts and pieces too, right? Whenever you're doing some of the other stuff, right? Whether you're doing solar or something else. So, yeah, we got that stuff. You knew it, Doc. But, you know, I just like to have this stuff organized so when I'm working on projects, I can find the different things. So I've got all my test leads, that type of stuff in here. I've got all my little, all my, my marking tapes, different colored marking tapes are in here. All kinds of stuff. Oh, these are kind of fun. These are from a project I did a while back. I need to get back to this and finish this. You guys, I think, will get a kick out of this. So this, if I can find the camera, this is a trigger for a electric drill. Great PTT, right? So one of my little satellite antennas, the idea I had was to set it up with one of these triggers for the PTT while I'm holding it. So I got to get back to that. Yeah, and then you know, all these little things for guy wires and stuff, right? For your antenna guying, all that kind of crap. So, but this Bosch stuff is really nice, really nice for organization. All right. Let's see, where were we? Let's get back. Probably here. All right, let me see what kind of questions I've missed. Show us your bins. We'll throw you beads. Nice. Let's see. Really into DuPont pin crimping right now. Oh, nice. Yeah, I've got some of that stuff here too, Freddie. Stuff other than power poles in the power pole bin. Sacrilege. No, there's just a couple of those sections were power pole bins. Let's see. Feel triggered. Nice. XT connectors are better than power poles. Ooh. Yeah, can't say you're wrong there, Gray Man. I guess you're going XT60s. Yeah, that's what I thought, Chris. Actually, I'm going to get back to playing with you guys. I know Kyle has seen it, and I know Bill's seen it. Some of you guys may have, some of you other guys may have seen it as well. But, you know, for a while I was carrying around a bent piece of PVC pipe with a little Yagi on it. And that's the one I was actually thinking about cutting open and pinning one of those switches in it for the PTT. $30, $60, or $90s. He does not discriminate. All right. Well, let me see. Let me try to get back here. So what I need to do is I need to go through this list and identify all the parts and pieces that I have. Now, what I want to see is if I'm going to pick one of these octapart lists. Well, I may not even have to do that. I'm trying to figure out how all this stuff works. There's a lot of intelligence built into this thing. Okay, so this one has an octoparts bin 2, or an octopart URL 2. So let's go to this one. I'm kind of curious too. All right. I'm going to keep a running total here because I'm curious. Right, so if you get everything in this, this is the solar. This is what you need for solar. So a Schottky diode, a couple resistors, pin header, jumper cable. Not a lot of stuff here, right? But everything in this piece is $7.56. Okay. Let me go back to this. Let's see. I want to go back up to the top. I'm curious what, oh, maybe I don't even have to do that. So this octapart list is 5434. Here, let's see if we can, we'll take that 5434. Now this is saying 150. So what is that? What's included in that? Or what's in addition to that? Trying to figure out how they have all this together. Uncheck row above to select parts below. That's not confusing. Uncheck row above. So they're talking about the row. So are they talking about this? What do they want? A space? It to false? So, yeah, true or false? I'm just trying to figure out how, well, look, let's see. They probably have a total underneath here. So let's just assume that let's assume that you need everything that's here. If you have the V2 PCBs, here's the bomb. I've got the 2 1s. Okay. So 150. And then this is 49. We got a sum of 200 down here. Okay. You guys can't see that. I'm in the way. I'll move myself here in just a second. Here, let me see if I can get myself out of the way here real quick. So there's a running total down here if you're just adding up or grabbing these certain fields. So here's another 56. Okay. This one's 37 for the battery board. That one's 40, 333. So I didn't even have to do that. They're giving me the total. And then LED spotlight, 5 watt. What is that? Oh, and this is the turntable. You don't need those. Okay, so let's see. Oh, this is, okay, so this is if you want to build your ground station, right? Because you have to build a ground station to be able to receive the telemetry and whatnot. So let's see. I've already got all that stuff. So I got this. I got that. These are the frame parts, screws and whatnot. Okay. Some batteries. This is the battery board. Some cell holders. Okay, just a few items there. And then this is the ground station. So it looks like if you need all the electronics parts, it's about $300. And then I'm curious if you're still out there, Eric. Did the kit come with what you need for the ground station, or was that separate? Let's see what we got here. They make alternative suggestions. DigiKey and the other parts companies don't always have the one you want in stock. Yeah, they don't. And that's what's really nice about what they've done here, right? If you take a look again, we'll go to this big one here. And I don't know why it's up. It bugs me that it's up here part way through and not at the bottom or not at the top. It makes me wonder is everything not included? But if we go to this, right, so this says $53, so that can't be everything. That's only got to be the things in this top portion. So Pi Zero. Let's see, do they list the Pi Zero? I don't see the Pi Zero. No. So I got to figure this thing out. But what I like about what they've done here, Bill, is on a vendor by vendor basis. So here's DigiKey. And they tell you, right, all these things are in stock. So that's fantastic, right? They pull that stock. Well, here's one that they don't have. But, right, that's when you can go to one of these other vendors. Oh, maybe not. This might be one of those things you can't get. What is this thing? What is this thing? Everything's a link too. That's pretty nice. It can be back ordered, so that's good. What is this thing? 220 ohm resistance. 5% tolerance. 1/8 watt. 220 ohm resistor. I'm curious. I'm going to look. Ooh. All right, so if I look in my little pot of goodies here, right, so let's see, that's 22. Oh, I thought that was a 220. That's a 22. Oh, I got a 220 right here. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, so I got a 220 1/8 watt. So that's okay because that can handle more power than an 1/8 watt. Plus or minus 5% tolerance. This is a 1% tolerance. So that's good. I've got that one. I'm just kind of curious. What's that thing cost? Probably doesn't cost a lot. Yeah, so they cost 10 cents a piece. But if you can't get it, right, lead time on it says 21 weeks. Right, 10 cents for a single. But here's the lead time on this bad boy. But luckily, now I could probably go, right, that's stack pole. I could probably go to a different manufacturer and all that stuff. But I've got a few of these. Let's see how many I've got here. I'm just curious. I think that bomb said you only needed one, but you might need them in other. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I got 11. So, good deal. But that's what I've got to do. I've got to go through all of these and see what I've got and what I don't, what I have to order. But that Octa, where'd that go? This is pretty sweet, right? Because you can see absolutely everything that's there and what's not. Is that the only thing that's not in stock at DigiKey? Yeah, that's awesome. That's the only part that's not in stock. And isn't that great? I mean, this is a really slick. I've never done a project and seen one of these like this before. Now this one looks like it might have, Arrow might have them, maybe. Ooh, increments of 5,000. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, so good news is I've got one. At least that's one case where my part, I got one part bin win, if nothing else. Let's see. Hey, Randy. Nice seeing you out there. Thanks. So, Randy, what I'm doing is I'm getting prepared to build my CubeSatSim. And I went the more difficult route, I guess, is probably the truth. Here, let me get this back. Instead of buying the full list, or buying the full parts list from AMSAT, what I did is I bought the PCBs because I've got, that big parts bin, and I wanted to see how many of my own parts I could use before I had to go shopping. And so we were just looking at a case here where one of these items that's needed for the build is this resistor that is the only item that DigiKey doesn't have in stock. But the good news is I've got almost a dozen of them in my parts bin. So That one's not going to hold me back. And it looks like it's got about a, if it's correct, well, if it's correct, it's a 21-week lead time, which can really put a damper on your project. But we were talking, so we're working from this provided bill of materials, and just remarking, you know, how well done this is, how much time and effort went into compiling all of this information. It's really outstanding. It's a great way to go shopping for the things that you need. Let's see. Now, for whatever reason, they don't have a like an octo part list for all of these items, which I think is kind of interesting. Well, some of these are Amazon items, so I guess that makes sense. Let's see how they do with. I'm just kind of curious. I've not looked. Look to see. So this is currently unavailable, right? There's lots of other options you could use for this. I was just kind of curious how they came, you know, did they make good selections? I'm sure they did. Here's a 16 gig micro SD. Right? SanDisk, it's a good brand. $10. Sure, you can find a cheaper one, but you know, you're likely not going to have an issue with a SanDisk, right? So looks like they have a pretty good list of parts here. But I like how they've got all the different sources here. Now I am curious. I saw. Now here's another. Oh, these are the Picos. Now, this will be interesting. I don't know, are these readily available these days, or are these still hard to get? Right, there was a while where you couldn't get your hands on these things. Yeah, looks like everybody's got stock on them, except for Newark. But Mauser's got them, DigiKey's got them. Right, they're all pretty much the same price. That's good. I did see some Adafruit stuff. Oh yeah, I want to see this. Adafruit, oh, it's stacked headers. So Adafruit is another, I buy stuff there as well. I buy different project things there. Right, like this is a little project that this is an Ada key project. It's cool. It's got like a little Voyager thing on the back, but you can program all of these buttons. It's got an encoder on it. It's got a little LCD display. So these are fun little projects. I love Adafruit for those little projects. And you can kind of set this up and have it kind of work like a Stream Deck, right? Same type of thing. This is what I was using for a while before I went to a real Stream Deck. All right. Yeah, I've got Picos. Yep. I was just curious if they were still available. Right? There are times when those things just are hard to get your hands on. Let's see. Hi, Arthur. Welcome. Nice to have you out there in the chat. All right. Randy, I'll, do I still have that handy? Yeah, I, earlier in the show, Randy, here, let me pull this up again real quick. I think you'll get a kick out of this. Earlier in the show, I showed off another TinyGS that one of the viewers had sent in. So they were showing how they got theirs set up, and they were actually collecting telemetry. So they, mission accomplished. They're excited, waiting for the Cornell project. So this is Mike over in Nova Scotia. He sent in some pictures, but I thought this was he's just running it in his house to figure out how everything works. But that reminds me, Randy, one of the things that, here, let me pull this up again real quick as well. Randy, I think you'll get a kick out of this here, or I'm curious if I know you ordered one of these as well. So, you see the 31st, that was last Friday when we were building this and getting it set up. And I had this little amplifier plugged in. And that night I had only captured 2 telemetry packets. Well, I had been monkeying around with it off and on throughout the week, and I still was not receiving any packets, and I had it sitting by the window. Now, I hadn't put it outside yet, but I was concerned. I was curious. Something's going on there. So I pulled this thing out of the chain, removed this from the chain, and then boom, all of a sudden I started receiving some telemetry. So I'm curious. There is a little pot on this. I'm going to monkey around with that a little bit, and I don't know if that little if that pot allows you to adjust the gain on this thing, but I'm guessing probably just overrunning that little receiver. So I thought you had ordered one similar to that. So I was curious if you've had a similar type of experience running a little amplifier into one of those Heltec type boards. All right. But anyhow, I just wanted to share that since you jumped in the chat. Yeah, I was kind of afraid of that might be the case, Randy, that might be for the transmit power because, well, the more I think about it though, the transmit, if I recall reading the instruction on that, the gain changes by how much power you supply. So I don't know that is for the transmit side or not, but it'll be something fun to try this weekend. Still waiting for your bandpass filter. Yeah, and that's something I hadn't put in the chain yet, was a bandpass filter. So I got to try that as well. All right. So let's see here. So I'm going to check some of these other Octa parts real quick just to see if there are any other parts that look like they might be difficult to get our hands on. Okay, what do we have here? Some diodes, resistors. That's about it. These look like, 4.7K. That's pretty standard. What is 1/6 watt? That seems kind of odd. I typically see like a 1/4 watt or an 1/8 watt. That's kind of odd. That's a 6 watt. Okay, well, let's see if, and no stock at DigiKey. Okay, this could be a problem here. Let's see. But the good news is, okay, Mauser's got a bunch of them, so that's great. The good news here is, that's a 4.7K resistor is a pretty standard resistor size. I'm sure I've got some in here. I do. I've got a 1/4 watt. So that would be fine. But whenever I see something odd like that, like I said, you're usually okay going with a more robust part with a resistor, unless that part is acting as a fuse. And whenever I see kind of a weird wattage there, I always kind of wonder. Cooley, so you've got one of those, but you haven't put it in play yet. Hey, thanks for stopping by, Randy. 7-3. Okay. So let's see what else we got here. Let me check another octo part. Here's one. Okay, let's see if there's any stock issues here. Okay, no stock issues. That's good. What do we got? Screws. Screws and standoffs. Now, these are the kind of thing I probably have some of these, but you never quite have enough. You never have, usually you need like 4 and you end up and you have 3, something silly like that. So this is probably an easy, just buy this, buy this list. 44 component count, $40. So what's the most expensive here? I'm surprised it's $40. Let's see. Where's the money at in this? Yeah, okay, what is this? So this is the guy. What is that? $30 in that part? What is that? You need 8 of those. It's an M2.5 6mm standoff. Stainless. Why is that sucker so expensive? Did I read that right? Yeah. So you need it. They're $360 a piece. Interesting. Okay. Let's see. What else do we have here? We have any more octoparts? Here's one. Okay, this is the battery stuff. Some of these battery holders can be hard to get sometimes. I've had that problem with other projects. Well, it looks like DigiKey's got all this stuff. No worries here. Good. Okay, good. Let's see. Here's another Adafruit item. What is that? Oh, that's a headers. And that's ground station stuff. Okay. Well, it doesn't, let's see, use 2 BT1s as a replacement for BT2 if it's out of stock. What is this? Oh, that's the battery. Oh yeah, see, they've had some trouble with some of the battery holders as well, it looks like. Okay. Now, when they were talking about why they use NiCad batteries instead of lithium batteries for this project, they were specifically talking about those kits that they send around, that dozen or so kits that they send around. And, they decided to just use these NiCad nickel metal hydride batteries instead of using lithium batteries, just for safety purposes when they're sending this stuff around. Okay. All right, so that's not bad. So that gets me on the path for parts. Now, I'm curious, has anyone here in the chat used any of the different print houses for 3D printed stuff? Let's see here. I want to go back to GitHub. And see if they've got the STLs in here. I know they do. I've seen them before. Might be in frame. I'll bet you it's in here. 2.0 frame. Ah, yeah, here we go. These are the STL files for printing the frame. Hey, Brian, welcome. Okay, let's see. Oh, they have some options already here. Look at this. They've done all this. Let's see. Let's follow one of these links. Yeah, we're checking out the CubeSatSim tonight. I'm getting ready to kick off building this, and so I'm taking advantage of this time to kind of get reacquainted with the project, find out what's required, what I need to get ordered from a parts perspective. I'm looking for a supplier to print the parts for me. Well, that's cool if you want to play around and check all that out. Now here, this is cool as well. Right, this is the 2U frame. Let's just take a quick look at that. Oh, so what do? They just build a little connector. I mean, that makes sense, right? I mean, that the whole idea is that these things are modular to some extent. Here's how to upgrade a 1U to a 2U. Look at that. That's pretty cool. And they said you could just keep building this thing. If you want to build a 3U, you can build a 3U. But this looks to be the magic part here. Okay, cool. I'm just going to build a 1U out of the gate here. That's what I'm interested in building. But has anybody used a print house? I mean, I'm sure there's like a bazillion of them out there. I wish they would update some of the guides and pictures. They don't come with USB sound cards. Oh, interesting. You know what? We should look here. Let me find the right tab here again. Let's, they just came out with those new guides, Eric. Those new educational guides. I wonder if they've updated the pictures and whatnot in those. Let's see if we can find those. Let's see if I can find. I know they put some new guides out here. Well, let's just look here. Maybe they reference them. Educator's Guide. This is what I was thinking of. All right, let's see. They've got multiple guides here. Got the Educator's Guide. Did you do any research, Bill, when you were thinking about the print house? Okay, here's a quick start guide. All right, I'm looking. Let's see, Eric, what, they don't come with the USB sound cards. Do a proofing segment on the order. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I don't know that much about printing either, so this is a good excuse for me to get more familiar with it. So they got a bunch of these guides here. Command and control, quick start. Yeah, this is pretty cool, right? You use DTMF tones to change, you transmit DTMF tones to change the functionality of the satellite. So I think that's pretty cool. Telemetry activity guide, advanced telemetry activity guide. So they got a bunch of kind of cool projects, right? I think that's what the most of these things are. Yeah, these look pretty impressive. I mean, they go into a lot of detail. So I think these will be fun to kind of work through once you get your unit working. Yeah, I can see that, Bill. But when you don't have a printer, you got to just push through. You got to, you got to figure it out. So, doesn't look like anyone else here has used a print house. Let's see. Well, let's find out. Let's see. Mudbots. Concrete printers? What the heck? What did I put in the chat? Let's try 3D printers. I guess I didn't like... Craft Cloud. Yeah, see, oh, PCB Way. I've heard of those guys, at least. At least I'm familiar with them. Heard about them. They also will create your PCBs, obviously, based on the name. Boy, look at that. That's pretty cool looking. 3D printing a hand. $20 minimum. Different technologies. I think what I'll probably just have to dig into some of these. Yeah. Chris, I know you love all that clear plastic stuff. No minimums. So they must have used this vase as their kind of control from a cost perspective. So 33.28. Let's see what the... Ooh, $100. What the... No minimums, but it's $100. What's up with that? Oh, this one was $100. What the heck? $125. What the devil's going on here? These guys were under $30 for crying out loud. All right, let's see. China-based prototyping company. Okay. And these guys were $33. Got a good Trustpilot. Does anybody trust Trustpilot? I mean, give me a break. Big Jim might print it or point you in the right direction. Yeah, I know that I could probably bug somebody to print it. I actually want to go through this exercise just as an exercise to see what it's like. Oh, I know. I've had a bamboo printer in my cart several times. My problem right now, though, is space and where I would put it. That's the big issue. Yeah, every time that there is a let's make a deal with Gigaparts, I've got one of their big bamboo printers in my cart, but I just never pull the trigger because I'm never sure where I can set that thing up, where I'm going to have a good stable spot. Oh, I know. I am sure I would print all kinds of stuff. I am positive of it. But I might try, let's see. I might dig into this craft cloud to understand what in the world can be the difference between these guys that are doing it for around $30 and these guys that are charging $100. What is the dealio? Processing time, 3 to 4 days, no minimum. Okay. 3 to 5 days. I mean, that's fine. Now this is interesting. What's this? Depends on provider. What's that mean? Is this like a network? Users can compare manufacturers worldwide and order directly. So these guys are kind of like a middleman. They make the connection. Huh. I just can't imagine these guys are charging $100 when somebody else is going to charge 30. What about your local library? Yeah, I might have to go into Fort Worth. Our library is dinky. Dinky. It's really tiny. But I'm sure they have them in Fort Worth. I'm curious now. They've got a nice library in Fort Worth. Let's see. I don't see it jumping out. Yeah, so it looks like they do offer them. Wonder what they've got. That's interesting. I might have to, that's a great idea, Eric. I might have to look into that. Interesting. Let's see what else. See if none of these names are the same names that we saw in the last one. I like the way that last one kind of used a baseline project. Print a thing. You gonna come up? Doesn't look like it. I'm gonna try something else here too. That's not exactly what I was going for. This is a great way to spend an afternoon, though, is to go through the Bureau of Engraving and Printing. It's in North Fort Worth, and so you can go up and see where they print coins, and I think coins is mainly what they're printing there. I'm sure I can probably find something around town too. But I mean, it'd be nice if I can find something that's convenient, that's reasonably priced, where I just, boom, ship them an STL and, you know, a few days later, something comes back. Poly printer. Let's see. I don't think I saw that one. I must be using the wrong search terms. Let's see. $229, that was it, right? Well, it looks like a printer. That's the city of Fort Worth. What is this? Is this the library, maybe? Yeah, so that's what the library has, a poly printer. Who can use the printer? Anyone. You don't even need a library card. And printing is free. When can I use the printer? First come, first served basis. Do I need to bring anything? Bring your own STL. It's a poly printer 229. ABS filament. Several different colors to choose from. Oh, you can even bring your own. Look at that. You can just use the doggone thing. That's even better. There's the winner right there. Just walk in with your STL. You don't even have to have a library card, for crying out loud. They take our little dinky library card though. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do right there. Look at that. You don't even have to stick around. You can just kick it off and leave, and they'll keep an eye on it for you. If it's spaghetti's out, they take care of it. Wow. Can't beat that. Can't beat that with a stick. All right. Well, man, that was perfect. So I need to get, all right, now I got to check their hours. I want the downtown branch. That's probably where the printer is. Let's see, let me get my bearings here. Here's Belknap. Henderson, 3rd, 6th. Throckmorton, yeah, this is the one I want. That one will work. I could probably even go to this one. Let's see which one's got the printer. Probably this one. That's the hours. I think they open pretty doggone early if I recall. When I lived downtown in Fort Worth for a while before I bought the ranch out here. I lived right next to the library. There we go. Saturday mornings, 10 a.m. I thought they opened earlier than that. Okay. Well, that's good to know. Are there any maker spaces? That might be a better deal. Yeah, I don't know if there are. I think there are some over in Arlington. Let's see. That's a good call, Chris. I know what that is. That's not it. Fort Works Makerspace, Arlington Heights. All right, let's see where these are. Yeah, I knew that there were some over this way. Let's see what's here. Where did that other one go? This one's closer to me now. Tarrant County Makerspace. Do you have a website here? Yeah. $28 per month. MIG welding crash course. I had the arc welder out last weekend doing some work while the weather was cool. Do they have 3D printers or is it? That's welding. Is that all they do? I'm under the welding. All right. Oh, it looks like that's what they do. Oh, that's a bummer. This must be a stock photo. I mean, the better maker spaces, right? You could just upload your STLs from the web. Yeah, I mean, you guys are seeing what I'm seeing. I mean, there's just nothing else here. Let's do. these look old. There's just not a lot here. All right, let me try the other one. Fort Works Makerspace. Don't they have a website? I don't see a website. Maybe they just use Instagram or something. Oh, that looks like 3D printing right there. Let's see. They don't have their own website. That kind of sucks. All right. Let's see. That was all in the Fort Worth area. You got to head over toward Dallas. And I can tell you, it ain't worth it. Let's see here. This is where the airport is, right here. This is the airport area. This is a long way out there. Long way out there. Let's see. That's not a good sign. All right, let's see. See, I'd rather just go to the library than drive an hour and a half over to Dallas. Yeah, this looks more like a well-rounded maker space here. Oh, that looks like fun. Powder coat training. Okay, I think I'm back to the library. I mean, you got nothing to lose at the library. Doesn't cost you anything to use it. So I think I'll give that a try. All right. What else we got going on here, gang? Anything else we should talk about tonight? Thanks for indulging me as I try to get prepared for diving into this CubeSat project. There's times when I wish I would have just bought the whole project. I was jealous a couple of weeks ago. I saw Eric decided he was going to build his, and he was able to build it like the next weekend, or that weekend, the next day. Let's see, here in Cleveland, we have the Think Box. Huh, nice. But there's something, once you get into it, it's kind of fun too to go through the exercise of sourcing all the components, figuring out how you're going to, do things like get the 3D printed pieces, all that stuff. I think it's all got some value. Wow, they've got one in Waxahachie. Bloom and Pour. What is this? It sounds like a coffee shop that sells posies. Well, it's a coffee shop. Looks like they sell posies. I don't see any makerspace stuff. What the heck are they talking about? Yelp. Oh, this looks like a cool looking space. All right, the lab here, they've got some Richardson. Oh, that's just forever away. That's Dawn's old neighborhood. No website. No website. All right. Let's see. 11 o'clock. I know this wasn't the most exciting topic for a lot of folks, likely. Let's see here. Yeah, we've dropped some viewers pretty quickly here toward the end. So we have fix the mic. I think I am heading over. This isn't ham radio related at all. But I think I'm going to head over to, we've got a little overlanding type show here tomorrow in the area. See if I can find out what they called that thing. Kind of an it's over where we've done field day a few times. That's the off-highway OHV Park in Bridgeport. The Fall Vendor Expo. We're actually, I mean, it's looking like we're going to have out here, not in Fort Worth or Dallas, but out here, right, once you get out away from the cities, looks like we're going to have freezing temperatures on Sunday. Looks like we're going to be down to 27 degrees. But this is, so this Northwest Off-Highway Vehicle Park is a really cool spot. We've done field day here with the local club, and they're having, this is their first ever vendor expo, and I mean, this park is pretty impressive. It's a huge wheeling park, and you can either go for the day and go wheeling, as well as check out all the vendors for $25, which is cheaper than their normal day pass rate, or you can pay $5 and just visit the vendors. But they've got all different kinds of, yeah, let's look at the trail map. It's pretty extensive. Pretty cool stuff. But we would, right here, it's kind of the high point in the park. And this little brown spot right there. And this is where we would have field day. And this looks out over toward Dallas and Fort Worth. It's a great park. But I'm just going to go check out the vendors, I think. Let's see if we've got a vendor list here. Might have to go. They probably have like on Facebook or something like that. Well, let's see. Destination Bridgeport. What's that got on it? Facebook. I knew it. 30 dogs. I knew it. Okay, let's see. I was hoping they might have some information here where you could see what vendors are going to be there. If I knew what I was doing on Facebook, I might be able to find it. I'm not a Facebook user. But, you know, we've got a lot of local off-roading type vendors in the area, so. Should be a pretty good little show. So I'll probably do that tomorrow. The other thing I've got to do this weekend, like I said, you know, we're going to be in the 20s. And I need to get some maintenance done. I need to get some antenna maintenance done. Let's see, where'd I lost you guys? Where'd I put you? So I've got to do some of that tomorrow, or yeah, probably tomorrow. Let's see. Oh yeah, nice. Good luck, Eric. Let's see, Chris, I've been trying to get my All-Star node working. I think I'm close. Getting snow in Cleveland. Oh. So I'll be going back to Pittsburgh for some holiday stuff. And I'm not looking forward to the snow. 10 inches. Yeah, see, that's what I'm not looking forward to. I used to love that stuff. Not anymore. I'm done with it. The Leo pack. Yeah, so I've got, I am still waiting for that separation kit for the rotator. I've got my cable. I've got, you know, I've had the antenna, the rotator itself, the tower. I've got everything. The only thing I need is that separation kit so I can get that thing installed in Cleveland. Want to do a POTA. Yeah, if it wasn't the holiday time, Chris, I could, but I'm going to be in for a couple of days and then right back out. And so I'll be spending time I mean, what little time I'll have in that area at that time. But I'll probably be back. Probably be back in December, and that might be something I could work out. I'll have to keep you posted. Yeah, so I had concerning that Leo pack. So I had called Ham Radio Outlet. That's where I ordered that separation kit from, and you know, this is getting shipped directly from Yaesu, and they've got, I mean, they're not even interested in trying to find out any type of lead time, anything at all, right? They just said it'll get there when it gets there. They don't entertain any type of discussion around shipping or anything like that, because they said it's likely coming from Japan, blah blah blah. It's a bunch of bolts, some nuts, some washers. It's frustrating stuff. Of course, it's all metric. It's all M stuff, but various sizes. But that's what I am waiting on. But yeah, so I've got to get some stuff cleaned up around here. I think I got to do a little bit of maintenance on my beverage antennas, and then I think the first thing I want to do though is just restring my DX commander. I think that's what I'll focus on. If I get to the beverage antennas, that'll be a bonus, but this end-fed half wave just isn't cutting it. It's in a bad spot, and I get a lot of interference off of the power line. I think I've got power that comes up to within 50 yards of the house, then it goes underground and comes into the house. But my end-fed half wave is headed in the general direction as that electrical pole, and it's just noisy. So I've got to get that done. Yeah, I got this rotator sitting right here on the floor right next to me. So I look at it constantly thinking, man, I need to get this thing out there. All right, let's see. So I see what Eric's got going on. Chris, it sounds like you'll be trying to stay warm. You got any radio projects going on right now, Chris? And Bill, I saw your project that you just built. That those are great kits. Great kits. I don't know if Bill's still with us, but he had a real nice build. That power meter looked great. What do you got next, Bill? You got another kit you're building? I know you picked that one up at Huntsville, I think. And that's really not too bad, Bill. I'm impressed, right? That was in August. You got that sucker built already. I've got a couple of kits too that I'm going to do this winter. I'm going to get this after I get the CubeSat done. I want to do the finally do my QMX. I think that'll be a one of my winter projects. Waiting on 2 Evo connectors. Ah, gotcha. Two Evo connectors. You might be, is there a long wait on those? You might be better off just buying a little. Oh yeah, you mentioned your All-Star project, Chris. You might be better off getting a little cable and pulling the connectors if you really want the Evos. Oh yeah, there you go. Oh, okay. Gigaparts. Yeah, they turn stuff around pretty good. I don't have any trouble with those guys for sure. I like working with those guys. All right. Well, I know this seems like a short one tonight, guys, but I think it is what it is for tonight. Let's see, schedule coming up. Like I said, I'll keep things posted on YouTube, but I've got to figure out how I'm going to try to do some on the road Friday night stuff, because I'll have at least one of them, maybe 2 of them coming up here. And then who knows with the holidays, things usually pop up on your schedule that you don't know anything about. So, Bill, you had asked me something a little while ago. You asked me about those, what's the name of this thing? It's Wentai. Let's see. Well, let's just go to Adafruit and then gosh, I hope they still have some of them. The last time I needed a couple, this is where I got them. Oh yeah, okay. So they still have them. So this is what you're looking for here, Bill. Just go to Adafruit. I'll add these to the description if anybody else is interested in them. But you can see you get the different sizes. I use these real small ones. I use these larger ones. I use lots of these. Right, this, kind of your normal size components, your axial components fit in these really well. And these are pretty good for like some of your larger LEDs, some of those types of things, because they come with long leads that oftentimes won't fit in these. Now the smaller LEDs fit fine in there, but I really enjoy these. I think they're a great way to keep your stuff organized. And you can take some of these with you. That's the other thing that's nice, right? Is if you need some way to safely carry some small items, these are pretty handy. So they definitely have my seal of approval. Like I said, I've had them for years. And unfortunately, I think they quit making them about 2 years ago. So once the stock is gone, I think, Wentai. Yeah, this is the company that makes them. Or made them. Gosh, this thing sucks. If you move off that box, it's gone. But you gotta then click in that. Oh my God, that's awful. They might not even have the notice out here anymore. They used to have a notice here that they quit selling these. Oh, you might even be able to get them on Amazon. Look at that. Let's see. No, unavailable. Just kind of curious now if they still... Oh, what's this? Fake. We need a bunch. Oh, look at that. AliExpress has fake ones. Gosh. Yeah, you can get real ones at Adafruit. That's what you want. Hey, good evening. We have we've been kind of slow going tonight. We talked a lot about the CubeSatSim, and I'm going to start building that. So I'm starting to get my parts list together. And of course, we went off into a bunch of different, chased a bunch of different squirrels. But I'm sure that won't surprise you at all, Patrick. Some of the squirrels we talked about are some of like shack storage and component storage and some of those types of things. But yeah, I was actually just starting to think about shutting things down, unless you guys got a direction you'd like to go. Let's see how we're doing. Ooh, I didn't realize we were down so low. We're down to 16 folks. So Bill, I got you squared away with your question about those boxes. So you've got those. I'll put links to the Bosch stuff too if you have interest in that. Bill, I think they have like a cleat system that you can screw into the floor of your trailer, and then all those drawer pieces click together. So I think they've got a cleat system that you could screw to the floor of your trailer and then click those little storage bins together. And like I said, they're made to hold tools and stuff, so they're not lightweight. They're pretty decent. So if that's what you were looking for, those might be a nice fit for you. Like I said, you can go as tall or, and for you folks that just joined, this is what we were talking about. This is what I use in the shack for my storage of parts, and I have two sets of these, and like I said, they click together, and that gives me six drawers, and I've got 4 open drawers, and then 2 drawers that are filled, or 2 drawers that have lids like this in them. And then in addition to that, they have these little divider kits that you can put in the drawers as well. Here you can see one. But I think here they've got a dolly. I think I recall seeing they've got a cleat system though too. But they've got larger bins, etc. But I put 2 of these together, then I put one of these on top, and I can still fit all of that under my desk. And so that gives me ready access to all my, my smaller tools and stuff that I use in the shack, along with all of my Raspberry Pi crap, my components, all that type of stuff, all my PowerPoles stuff, blah, 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 blah. Now, how about this? Oh, that's an extendable. I'm curious where that cleat thing is. That's interesting. Do they have some other manufacturers, some other people? Well, this is a Bosch, just a different color. But what's this? Tecton. Maybe that fits in the system. But yeah, so this is kind of what I've got right here. That's a good representation right there. Except I mix open bins with those closed bins. I really like it. It works out really well. Had good luck with it. Been happy with it. Yeah, here's just the organizing piece. Now it looks like, is that not available right now? Let's see. For all your small parts. Good stuff. Looks like there's quite a few customizable 3D print STL files for SMD boxes too. Oh yeah, I'll bet there are. I will bet there are. And if you had a 3D printer, that's probably a great option. Oh, here's another parts bin style. See, I had gotten this one that has these multiple sizes in it. Because this is like the one that I use to have all my test leads, those types of stuff. My ribbon cables fit into one. It's nice having some of these larger bins for some of those kind of more oversized type items. Good stuff. Look at No and Null. All right, let's see. What did that do? Oh, that's weird. was trying to copy that address. Copy clean link. Let's try that. Good God, that's not a clean link. I'm going to have to just type it for crying out loud. What is that? B. Of course, I can't get the whole thing. All right, I'll do it this way. Oh, I see what you're saying, Bill. This is a knockoff Wentai. Yeah, it does look very similar. Now, one thing that I see that's a little different, and it might not matter. Here, let me. The Wentais have metal springs, so that whenever you open it, they actually spring open. I mean, that's not a huge deal, of course, but I mean, it doesn't look like those other ones have. Unless they're just hiding it. Maybe that's metal, maybe it's not. It looks like it might be. They're just not showing it. But yeah, do they have, let's see if they have other sizes. It looks like, oh gosh, yeah. So these are all, these look like, yeah, these look like they're, now look, that's crazy. Okay, let's see. You know, they were talking about, in that thread, they were talking about fake ones, right? You see the brand here? But if you look on here, you can see that clearly says Wentai, right? Which is the original brand. So either they stole the picture or they completely ripped off the design. But price looks pretty fair. I think you could probably give it a try. It's so funny. Look, there's every brand under the sun, but they're all using the Wentai photos. You look real close, it says Wentai on it. Oh, that'd be interesting to see what you actually get when you buy those. Oh, okay, good. So they do have the metal spring at least. Oh, yeah. Here's a good picture. I mean, it'll be interesting, right? Did they just borrow the picture? Or is that their actual... Now, this one doesn't have anything printed on the top, but you can see it's a different type of design, too. Same concept, though. At least these guys had their own design. This looks like the Wentai. Doesn't have the Wentai logo on it, at least. That, well, you know, I'm curious. Yeah, the small one has a Wentai logo on it as well. I wasn't sure if they put the Wentai logo on. Here, for you guys that maybe weren't around. Right, so this is how I keep all my all my components. And I've got two layers in each of these. Yeah, it's I mean, a lot of ham radio projects still use axial components, right? Still use through hole components. I mean, I've got somewhere over here. Yeah, I can't get to it right now, but I've got like a fold up binder, like a book of SMD type components. And that's how those things are great actually, because you can buy that whole book of components. It's pretty cheap and it gives you like a good variety, a nice distribution and variety of different components. Yeah, that's a good point, right? That is a lot of those like PCB way, right? They'll actually, you know, do the assembly for you as well. Sure. Yeah, these are pretty interesting. I'd be real curious to see what you actually get when you buy some of these. Now, this one's interesting. This one just has like a dedicated box. Yeah, if you get one of those, Bill, you have to let me know what it looks like. Oh, look at that. I've seen this one before. Quimtech. Yeah, it's getting to be that time of year, project time. I've been considering upgrading my my soldering iron too. I mean, I don't really have a good reason to though. Every time I think that I'm gonna upgrade it, the one I've got's just fine, but I always think it'd be nice to get a new one, but I never end up doing it. I actually like using paste like that in that type of dispenser right there. This tube has lasted me for so long. This is such good stuff. Look at that, manufactured 21. Expires in 22, but I just used it the other day. I can't see how this stuff goes bad. And it takes just such a little bit. So that this comes out, I've got like a really fine application needle. And this is my preferred flux solution. Yeah, this one's stable. This one doesn't require refrigeration. And I think this is, gosh, I think this is the second tube I bought, right? So I mean, you use so very little of it. I think it probably took me 5 years to use the first one that I bought, and I don't think I used all of it. I think I ended up losing it. But yeah, anything, I mean, those applicators are great. I wonder if they have this brand. I forget where I bought this. Let's see if they have AMSAT. Now I use this Chip Quick stuff as well. Now I use let's see, like in my mobile soldering kit or my portable soldering kit, I use they've got little capsules. And it's Chip Quick. You get like 4 or 6, yeah, right here. These things are great to put in your portable kit. So I keep that. So I've got a pine cell set up and actually in a Maxpedition pack for my solder kit. Oh, sorry guys, you guys aren't seeing that. This is what I'm talking about. This is a great little thing to have on hand, throw in your portable kits. Speaking of Maxpedition stuff, might as well show you guys this too. I just got this. This thing just showed up this week. This is their Falcon 2 backpack. It's kind of a smaller backpack. First of all, I love the color, the two-tone color. But I just can't get over some of the detail. I don't know how they make this stuff for the price that they sell it. Every time I get my hands on some of their stuff, it just blows me away. You know, the material is what, 1050 nylon. It's coated. They put this nice kind of heavy rubberized type material on the bottom. Hey Brian, thanks for hanging out tonight. Appreciate it. Safe travels tomorrow, and hey, we'll see you in a week, hopefully. Take care. But, you know, just the same kind of quality that you see in those pocket organizers. Just really great. I'm gonna do a short on this weekend and just kind of point out some of the cool features, and then I'm gonna carry it for a little while. One idea that I had for this is my my UHF VHF mobile pack. I think it would be a great solution for that, just the way it's laid out. And it's a pretty small kit. What I like to do is I like to take a bag like this and build out kind of permanent kit for it. And I've got a Kenwood D710 that I use in my UHF VHF kind of go bag or go kit. And I'm thinking about building this out with that for all my like race support. Whenever we do whenever we do events as a club, I always take that radio, and I have a certain kit that I always take. You know, I did that bike race here a few weeks back. I'm thinking this would be a good use case for this bag. I just can't get over the quality of this for the price that they charge. Really is great stuff. And it's a nice small size. Yeah, so Chris, I haven't seen, I've seen different build outs. Like that pack there has a port on the top that you can open or close. It's it uses hook and loop to close it. I've seen people use that bag for a PRC radio. Now it's not specifically for that. I don't know that they actually have. You got me wondering. Let's take a look. Let's see. Yeah, more radio-centric bags. I don't disagree. Let's see. Let's just do a search and see if they have a PRC bag. Now, these guys actually have probably the best HT holder. Okay, here we go. Yes, I mean these phone holsters that they make, these things are the best. I mean, they're adjustable width, depth, and they're made just like everything else that they make. I've got one that I keep on my Eberly stock that I carry my ID50 in, and you know, I could carry a much larger radio in this. So if you guys need something like, if you have a use for something like that, that's definitely a good one. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't see anything here. Now, let's see. I don't know. Let's go to, let's see. They've got different lines. I don't know if that goes across all lines. It probably does. I think this is that bag I just got. Yeah, the Falcon 2. It's a smaller bag. This is the one. in this colorway. I just think that I think it looks way better in person than it does in the pictures. And if you look at Amazon, right? I guess it depends on how you look at it. If you need two of these, right? They're you buy one, get one free. So they're $100 each. I guess this was my Amazon tab. See what they are here in Amazon. 136. So you can either get two of them here for $100 each, or you can get one for 136 on Amazon. But I know they also have, okay, here we go. That's maybe what I was looking for. I thought they used to have like a section for like professional gear. Leo's stuff, and maybe that's all under tactical now. This doesn't look very tactical. Let's see. This stuff's all on. That's all their outlet stuff. Yeah, so it doesn't look like they've got something specifically for radio. I mean, other than that, of course. Boy, that thing really does bundle up small. But I like that they use like Duraflex. Like their hardware's top notch. Yeah, it doesn't look like they've got any radio stuff though. Be nice if they did make some radio specific stuff. I agree. Zipper on the bottom. Yeah, that's interesting. Gotcha. That makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure somebody's making a PRC. Sold out. Well, that looks like old school stuff. Let's see, the best bag I found is the 117G. High ground, crazy expensive. Huh. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Mystery Ranch has something. See if they have some other radio stuff. Yeah, so these guys have some stuff. Hmm. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Mystery Ranch stuff is usually pretty good stuff, though. It's usually, I mean, their fit for purpose is usually pretty good stuff. Oh, that thing looks, I guess there's some wear down there. I was going to say, that thing looks practically new. Oh, no, that's not wear. This thing does looks like new old stock. Doesn't look like it's dry rot either. 59 bucks, Chris. The Everly stock Romad. Oh yeah. This was probably the one that I had seen. I'm always looking at their stuff. I love their stuff. Let's see. I was looking to see if they had an accessories piece with that. Yeah. Yeah, that looks pretty like a pretty good fit. Let's see, what are they doing there? They're just going through, oh, zippers just, so they don't have a port there. I guess you can put it anywhere you want it. That's the benefit. Yeah. Oh, that's the PRC 117G. Got it. Yeah, I'll bet that sucker's expensive. It's cool. It's good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, so I'm excited to build this out. I mean, they just got so much good attention to detail for $100. It's crazy. I mean, just, I don't know if you guys can see this. It's, I mean, this is just this, you know, the super simplest stuff, right? Where you can get your fingers behind the snaps, right? So you can actually snap it. I mean, those are just the little touches that are so great. And then, I don't know, you probably won't be able to see it. This is where they got that top port. And that gets you, there's like a top port there. That'll get you into the large compartment, or that'll get you into this large compartment here, or it'll get you into the bladder compartment. And I like how they've got hook and loop in the bladder compartment as well. A lot of bags don't bother with that. Just blows my mind for $100. Yeah, you can definitely, I'm sure that's a primary use case for it. But like I said, it gives you access to both the back bladder or the back pocket for the water bladder and the main pocket. So it's kind of dual purpose in that regard. Yep. That's it. That's exactly it for those locking zippers. That's it. And they were smart, right? You can get two sets of zippers, so you can get either the main compartment and then this large secondary compartment. You could cover both of them with those snaps, so you can get this set, and then you can also get this set with that snap. I mean, there's just so much thought into this bag. Crazy. Yeah, I'm sure that's the reason why that's built there, for sure. Good stuff, though. Let's see if I've got anything else. I think I don't think I've got any other kind of fun stuff or cool stuff that's new. I am curious, though. Let's jump over. See if I picked up any new packets here. So 32 and 8. 32 packets with 8 telemetry packets. See if we got anything new. $36 and $9, so picked up a few more. Yeah, I'm not surprised, right? This is the direction of the window in the shack here. It's definitely pointing to the north, so it makes sense. All this stuff is concentrated right here. It's all right there. So I am really curious. See if we can find anything about this little. This is an AB IoT 433. Trying to see if I can find a manual for this thing. All right, let's try something else. Yeah, that's it. And that's that little pot. All right, so there's the pot. So that's similar. So this is the board without the connectors. Let's see. Do they have a manual? So this looks, yeah, so these are all related. Thinking about running the Arduino Q and hook it to a board that supports the rack LoRa board. Optimize the rack board to pick up more signals. Interesting. Product is a two-way amplified TDD working mode. Transmit and receive will be amplified. Okay, highly professional wireless communication, blah, blah, blah. Let's see. Mainly used in various occasions. I mean, the other thing that I can do just for the heck of it, that's probably what I should have done, is just try some of these. I should just put some of these in line between the radio and that amplifier and see if I get a different. That's one thing I can try. It would be nice, though, to find out how to adjust that pot. Handheld walkie-talkies cannot use this module to achieve the purpose of extending transmission range due to the high transmission power. Yeah, let's see. I don't see anything there. It talks about how to adjust that. Yeah, that would, I mean, that sounds like a fun project for sure. Let's see, does anybody have? Okay, so that's interesting. So the transmit power and receive sensitivity will be amplified equally. Now, I had read somewhere else that the amplification is based on the power. Here we go. So RX status 10 milliamps plus or 3. Trying to see, let's see. The working voltage only affects the transmit power. Okay, and little effect on the transmission gain. Therefore, for applications where the output power of the front-end equipment is not large, generally recommended to use a 3.7 volt battery. Since the maximum transmission gain is about 11 dB, the output power of the front-end equipment must be sufficient. For example, the output power is only 10, but we're not even transmitting, so none of that matters. Okay, the transmit gain. Oh, here we go. When the potentiometer turns counterclockwise to the end is 5 dB. Oh, beauty. So that's it right there. Wunderbar. I got to grab this note so I don't lose this web page. Okay, so between 5 and 11 dB. All right, come on. Oh, it's too big. Looking for my nylon spudger. My thin nylon spudger. It still might be too thick. I have another one. That is way too big. I don't think this one is. Oh yeah, that turned it, didn't it? All right, so turn counterclockwise to the end. I'm going to turn this thing as far as I can turn it. Yeah, it was definitely maxed the other direction. All right, so I just essentially turned that in half. Let's see. Hey, Andy. I actually got it running right now, Andy. I think what I'm going to do, though, now that I've turned the gain down on that, and that thing, it made a full revolution. I'm going to, oh, I've got it all packed into thing. I'm going to wait and do it tomorrow. I was going to do it right now, but I've got it all packed in. I did, since I took this off of it, I was able to, oh yeah, little Dremel things. I was able to get it into that case since I didn't have this on it that I had showed last week. Well, here you guys can see, right? This is what the one of those just bins looks like. Right? You just throw all this stuff in a bin. Various crimpers and whatnot. But yeah, so I'm going to throw this on tomorrow morning. And we'll see if the performance is better. See if we can actually pick up some more stations. If you guys want to see how it'll look, right? You guys will be able to just go to the TinyGS page, search for my station, and anything after well, it'll start on the 8th, will be with this adjusted. It'll be interesting to see how that compares. Now I'm going to have to take it outside, but I knew that I'd be tinkering with it. Plus I have a larger box. I don't think I don't know where I put it actually, but I got a larger box with a see-through lid on it that I can keep all this stuff chained together. And what I'm going to do in that larger box is I'm going to go from, I wonder what my best bet is. I was going to go from this to the bandpass filter, then to the Heltec. I think that's probably what I want to do. I mean, I don't know how well this thing is. Could put it on a scope though. I haven't, or, on a TinySA. I haven't done anything to evaluate if this thing is actually just transmitting on 433 or, I have no idea how much bandwidth this thing lets through. But that's why I'm thinking I want to put the filter between this and the radio. And all three of those chained together are going to be, 6 inches long. So I got a case that's like 7.5 inches long. So I'll be interested to see how that works. Have any of you guys got a TinyGS up and running yet? I can pull up your page if you've got one running. Let's see what we're getting here. Power. See, that's almost a watt. We've got to be able to receive 100 milliwatts. And, here's 600 milliwatt. So we got to get to, there's an 800, another 600. There's a 1 watt. Well, those are 9 watts. Got some errors. See what these guys have in them. It's kind of fun seeing what each of these satellites, what kind of payload they have. Well, I'm getting all kinds of those tankwies. Here's that Pico. Have I played with the new radio? Do you mean the TX500 MP? If that's the one you're talking about, Bill, I've been playing around with it just a little bit. I've been doing just a little bit of stuff here on the end-fed half-wave. Hey, EOD. Thanks for hanging out, buddy. Good to see you. Have a good week. EOD, let me know when you get your TinyGS up and running too. So it's, you know, I haven't taken it out into the field. I haven't been able to get out and do much radio outside of the shack. Not that I've been doing a ton of radio in the shack, but I'm looking forward. The weather started to turn here, Bill. We're actually going to have some days in the 70s here, so I am looking forward to that. That's when, you know, our activity really picks up around here. I've got to check with Jason and see if he's heading out to that that show tomorrow. I'll be surprised if he's not going. W5 TSK. Where's this? Where's this person? They're in Dallas. Nice. There's another 5 call. Goodness. Why is that so yellow? I guess because they've got a ton of decodes. Where is this person? Houston. Okay. Got a good representation of Texas hams here. QHB. Five call in Florida. It happens. Now I'm curious here. Let's see. This guy here. That's kind of interesting. The majority of his decodes are west. Got a few out here east of them, but by and large, west. I wonder if he's got this kind of on the west side of his house or something. It's interesting. And a fairly new station here, right? Just this last week. So that's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. Created just 4 days ago. That's pretty cool. I'd like to think maybe they were watching the stream. Maybe they got the idea. Maybe they learned about it from the stream. Who knows? All right. Well, let's see, guys. We're running pretty thin out here. I'm getting pretty tired. We were down to 13 peeps. I appreciate you guys hanging around and helping me walk through and get reacquainted with the CubeSat simulator. I'm excited to get that project going. I'm going to spend some time, probably tomorrow evening, getting my cart squared away with DigiKey. And I can't believe how well that this little itty bitty koozie, how well that worked on that frozen water. It's crazy. Hey, you bet, Chris. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you guys hanging around, and it's always a lot of fun. So hope you guys have some radio fun this next week. Get out there and practice some radio. Get your TinyGS going. And oh, no, that's all right, Bill. We're down to 13 people in the stream. I wasn't watching too close, so I think we put most folks to sleep already. But for you troopers out there, I appreciate you guys. Hope you guys have a great week, and we'll definitely see you next week. All right, gang. Until then, 7-3. Take care.